yeah, I don't see myself making amigurumi ever again. It did not bring me joy. Nope. Hi friends, my name is Amanda and welcome to my channel, AceKreates. I am your Tunisian crochet bestie, just trying to get as many of you as possible to fall in love with Tunisian crochet just as much as I have. But this is a podcast episode, so I'm not just working on Tunisian crochet, I'm working on some knitting, I'm working on some crochet, and it's gonna be a long one because I haven't done one since Vlogmas. Vlogmas is all over now, and so now we're just gonna get back into the swing of regular podcasts every other week, and this is the final podcast of 2024. I have a lot to catch you up on. A lot. We have technically three finished objects and 5 whips to talk about. And so we need to just get into the video so we can talk about everything that I've been working on throughout Vlogmas. Because some of you don't necessarily like the Vlogmas style content, totally understand. So let's catch you all up. This is the Tinysaurus. I don't remember the pattern designer's name, but I will definitely put it in the details below and on screen. It was a gift that I finished for my daughter. I actually started this sometime in 2022. I originally started it for my nephew before I even knew I was pregnant, and I never finished it. The head just sat finished, and the head is honestly the best part about it. And I decided that as part of Vlogmas that I would try to finish some whips. And I saw this, and this was one that I thought I could finish and gift to my daughter for Christmas. Successfully finished Christmas Eve, so I finished just in the nick of time. This is my first kind of foray into amigurumi, and I'm not a fan. I might have been a fan if the yarn was better, but the yarn was terrible. I could not read my stitches whatsoever. I'm actually even surprised that the head looks so good. I had to size up 2 hook sizes. It calls for an 8mm on the body. I had to size up to a 10 because I just couldn't get into things, couldn't read my stitches, and it looks like it. But she's 2. She's gonna love the dinosaur no matter what, although she opened it up on Christmas and was like, nope. It's cute. I love it. Post-apocalyptic comet skinny dinosaur. Cute. But yeah, I ended up doing the body about in 1 week. Getting through struggles. I probably ripped it up like 3 or 4 times. And then I just decided to just go and push through. And then I did 1 leg. And then on Christmas Eve day, I did the other leg, both arms, and all of the spikes here. The pattern also lets you do like if you wanted to do like a stripy tail, you could do that. But I just used yarn that I had from a blanket whip that I frogged during Vlogmas. And so I was able to like recoup the yarn from stripes to use as the spikes. Yeah, I don't see myself making amigurumi ever again. It just really did not bring me joy. It brought me more frustration than joy, and also is another, like, I really like Tunisian crochet. And so while I'm glad that I have another whip object done, and this is actually my 21st finished object of the year, I don't ever see myself making something like this again. I mean, never say never, but it just did not bring me a lot of joy. So that is the Tinysaurus. I will put the designer and name on screen and below if I haven't already. And it was a gift for my daughter for Christmas, the Tinysaurus. Nope, that's what my daughter does with it. So the next one is something that I will just pop up on screen. I made 2 hanging plant holders, and these are actually the first objects that I have ever made for my husband. He's not really a socks, a hat, a sweater, anything. He's like a tank top guy. I don't really want to make a cotton tank top. But he's a gardener. So he loves to garden. He loves to like have plants and try things out, propagate plants, all that. So I made him, he actually found the pattern for me. I made him 2 boho plant holders, and I significantly modded the pattern. I took it, but our pots were really small and we didn't want them to hang quite as long. Ours are only hanging about this long. So the pattern calls for like well over, it's a free pattern online, and it calls for a really long amount of chains to make your kind of ropes to hang. I took that and like quartered that, and then I took out 2 rows of the repeat section in it, and just it's this cute little pot holder that I made with Hobbii cotton yarn, Hobbii rainbow. I used 2 skeins, so it's fingering weight yarn. The pattern actually called for worsted weight. I tried it in an acrylic, but that didn't work. It caused too much stretch. It was too big, like tall wise in terms of the pot holder. So that's when I redid it in the cotton yarn, and I cranked out 2 in 2 days. So those are my 22nd and 23rd finished objects of the year. And he has requested 4 more. But it calls for a 4mm hook. And I don't know if it's the combination of the small hook and the cotton yarn. It's just really hard on my hands, so I can't crank them out. I can do them in like 45 minutes, but I can't crank more than like 1 out a day. So I did 2 before the holidays, and I will probably like crank 1 out every other day or so, or 1 or 2 a week for him so that he has the 6 that he wants, because we have 6 little white pots. So those are the boho hanging plant holders that I will put the info below for you. The next project we're going to talk about is my stripe pipe. This is my stripe pipe. This is a drop shoulder sweater, a pattern by Veronica Lindberg, who is Katova Kika on Instagram. And we were right here when we last met on the podcast. I finished the body. I skipped doing the last main color stripe because I was fine with the length. That's what the pattern said to do if you were fine with the length. Without it, I was a little worried it was going to be too long. I actually think it might be too long anyways, especially since there's 4 inches of ribbing. I'm right at about 3 inches. I stopped because I ran out of yarn, the yarn that I was working on. The main color, which is that cream, is this Botanical Yarn 4-ply. It's their 2023 Woolen Folk exclusive colorway. They got really hit hard by everything that happened at Woolen Folk. And so back in 2023, I ordered a couple skeins, 4 skeins of this colorway to support them. I was gonna cast on and finish the ribbing for the body, but I wanted to play it safe. So I'm at about 3 inches for the body, and I wanted to cast on and do both arms before I added any more length to the body, just in case. I think I'm going to be fine. In fact, I know I'm gonna be fine, but like, I'm just kind of a little bit paranoid right now. So I decided that in the meantime, what I'd do is pick up for sleeves. So this is where I'm at. I'm almost done the chocolatey brown, which is a colorway from Woolberry Fiber. I think it's called Gilbert Blythe. And then once I do this chocolatey brown, I'm going to bring in a kind of like camo green. It's another Woolberry, I think it's called Forest Walks. All of my stripes are Woolberry Fiber Co. stripes. Just random singles that I had, because back in 2022, when I was purchasing yarn, I would just buy one of things, which I would never do today. So unless it was on purpose for like a colorwork project like this, or like stripes. So I thought this was a great use of random skeins. I'm gonna end up using 9 total skeins of yarn. I'll have 4 for the main color, cream, and then I have 5 contrasting colors. Each of the contrasting colors, I haven't weighed them, but I end up with probably 1/3 to, yeah, probably about 1/3 of the yarn left, 1/4 to 1/3 of the yarn left. So I'll still have some to go into like a decent quantity for like a scrappy project, which in 2025 I do want to do like a full-blown scrappy project, whether it's like a granny, scrappy granny. I have the scrappy granny like on my list in my queue in Ravelry. I'm really loving this project. I really love half twisted rib. This is the first time I've done half twisted rib. I'm in love with it. It does take longer, but I really love the look of it, both on the right side and the wrong side. On the wrong side, my knits look fantastic, like more so than ever, like 1x1 would ever look on my stuff. So I'm really happy with the progress. I really am trying. Although I have a lot of goals for this week to finish stuff, I'm really like kind of like putting things down and only working on this, except for when I need like a travel project, like we're in the car for a little while or here and there. I need something that is not this humongous and have so much yarn to manage on the road. So that is my Stripe Hype. I really want to try to finish by the end of December and have 24 odd books finished in 2024. That was kind of my goal in 2024. I saw Rachel is knitting do that, and I was like, I could do that too. And so yeah, I'm trying. I have, you know, just a few days left in 2024 to try to finish this off. So that is my Stripe Hype by Veronica Lindberg, Katova Kika on Instagram. The next project we're going to talk about is my Tlla Tea. You know, everybody talks about Sleeve Island, and I am on Body Island with this Tlla Tea. It is never ending, like literally never ending. It's probably the combination of fingering weight and the needles, but this is my Tlla Tea. It's a pattern by Rebecca Clow, the Crayabea on Instagram. It's like an open gauge fingering weight t-shirt. And let's see, I was right about there the last time we were on the podcast, and I've probably done maybe about 4 to 5 inches. Yeah, something like that. I think I'm just probably right at this spot where I need to like measure to make sure, like, do I need just a little bit more? And then I start the body. Although I won't be making this as cropped as I typically do, I still have quite a bit of yarn. This is my second ball of yarn, and I still have quite a bit, and I have a whole 3rd skein of yarn. The yarn that I'm using is Explore Knits and Fibers. I don't know the colorway. When I got it off the D-Stash Discord, it was called Fake Spindrift. So maybe it came from like an Oopsies collection or a Leave No Trace Behind or something like that. But it's this like really great minty green. I'm gonna measure this and see where I'm at. And then if I still have quite a bit of ribbing or quite a bit of body to go, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the sleeves and try to crank out some sleeves, because when I come back to the body, I really want to be done and get this off my needles. It is like, it's boring me at this point, which, you know, I get it. It's just a stockinette in the round, so that's all you're doing. But I have too many projects on my needles right now, and I really want the satisfaction of getting something large off of my needles. I've gotten some, and hooks, I've gotten some stuff off, but it's just, I need some of the bigger projects to come off, because one of my goals in 2025 is going to be to not have any whips carry over into 2026, which means I need to be really realistic about what I'm starting and how many projects I have going on all at once. I think that will be helped with the fact that I'm going into a stash down in 2025 where I am not going to buy yarn with my money. I'll go into like details later in another video about kind of the rules that I'm placing on myself for my 2025 stash down. But I've been working pretty hard at building out a list of things that I want to make with the yarn that I have in my stash. And my mother just said, I want this sweater, which is my indecision sweater. So that will be some yarn that I will get out of my stash and gift it to someone. So I just really want to get this off. So I want to finish the Stripe Hype first, and then I'll probably like work really feverishly on this to just get it done. It's a really simple pattern. It's really beginner friendly. I consider myself a beginner knitter because basically all I can do is like stockinette. I haven't really gone much into any lace work or cabling or anything in knitting. That's fine with me. I'm really happy with my stockinette projects. I really like it. And I like that I can get a whole t-shirt for 3 skeins of yarn, or who knows, maybe even 2 skeins of yarn. So that's really appealing to me. Because as we all know, in crochet and Tunisian crochet, that just doesn't happen. Like I saw this pattern I really, really wanted to make from a Tunisian crochet designer, and I won't say who it is. And it's a t-shirt, and it's DK weight yarn, but it would require 5 skeins of yarn for my size. And that just like broke my heart a little bit, because I really wanted to make it, but I don't have anything with 5 skeins in my stash that isn't already like a sweater's quantity. So I would have to break up a sweater's quantity in my stash, and I don't really want to do that. If I have 7, I'm making a sweater out of that. So I don't know. I really liked the top, but I saw the stitch that it's using and I'm like, oh, that's eating up all the yarn. And so I don't know. I don't know if I could like mod the pattern a little to like do a fingering weight yarn, because I do have some. I actually had this one. Anyways, I'm going into a tangent, but I'm trying to get things off of my hooks, and probably maybe by the end of January be in a good place to kind of like start fresh for the new year and get things going. So the next project that we're going to talk about is the baby blanket that I've been working on for a friend. I have been working on a baby blanket, a Tunisian crochet baby blanket, no pattern, self-drafted. I actually had this idea in mind. I slowly figured out that like that's just not going to work with the yarn I currently have. And sorry if you hear anything, the dog is huffing a little bit right now. I would have to get more yarn, and I will have to get more yarn for this, but it just didn't really work out the way I had wanted to, or what like my brain had creatively like thought I wanted to do for this blanket. So it's a Tunisian crochet blanket that I'm using Color Theory yarn. It's from Lion brand. It's a collab with Two of Wands, and I am using just random colors that I have, but I'm doing it like tones of colors. So this lovely stonewash blue, this kind of seafoamy green blue, tourmaline, I forget what this one is, or it's like canyon maybe. It's like this gorgeous clay red. And then I have this pink called Himalayan Salt. And then I have one of the purples. I'm gonna have to go get another purple, and then I'm gonna see how long the blanket is. So right now I've done 2 full stripes of color work, or like of color. I did a honeycomb border, just in a nice cream white. I don't know what the white was called. And so I'm gonna get to the 6 colored stripes, see how big that is, and then finish with the rest of the white that I have, which I'm hoping I have enough of to do the same amount of stripes. I might just have to hold my tension a little bit tighter because I think this is like 47 grams and I used 52 grams for this. So this is a blanket that I am making, self-drafted pattern. Not even a pattern, it's just self-drafted. Like, there's no pattern for this. It's just knit stitch, honeycomb stitch, putting it all together with some color stripes. So I actually have a deadline of this, so probably in the new year we'll get cranking real good on this and pick up that extra skein that I'm gonna need for it. But this was a good stash buster. I'm actually ending up with some extra yarn because it's stash yarn. One of the skeins had only about 70 grams of it available. So each stripe then only can use 70. So then some of the skeins I'm gonna end up with, you know, anywhere from 10 to 30 grams left. So I'm trying to think of what I could do. I might make just like a burp cloth with just the scraps. So, or if you have any ideas, let me know. But that's my next whip that I have been working on. I just got this itch to pick up something for it. Like, once I got the idea in my head, I just had this itch to cast it on. And I really wanted to make a Tunisian crochet blanket instead of just a regular crochet blanket. It's really monotonous, so it's like a nice, you know, TV watching project for me to work on. The next pattern, the next project, the next whip that we're gonna talk about is my Adventurous Scarf. The Adventurous Scarf is a Tunisian crochet pattern from Toni Lipsey, Tlla Yarn Crafts. And it's a gift that I started in 2023 for a family member of mine. And I am using, instead of just all minis, I am using a main color skein of this, I think it's called Daisy from Montana Crochet. It was from a sock club from 2022, along with the corresponding minis from it and like a couple of random minis that I had in my stash. I'm now at the point where I'm almost done with this. I think I have one more kind of mini sections, one, maybe 2 worth of this yarn before I have to kind of start playing. So this is where we're at. I've finished 4 minis worth. And so I just alternate. I just saw a pattern or like a sample of it on Instagram, and I'm totally not doing the pattern right, but to each his own, and it's worked for me. And so I've gotten 4 minis worth, and I need to cast on the next one. I don't need to finish this until mid-February when I go back to spend some time with family, and then I will have it done then. But that's where we're at. My family member requested their favorite color is green and yellow, and so I happily obliged because those are like my least favorite colors. So it was a great way to get some stash yarn out of my stash, which is also one of the main reasons why I don't buy mystery yarn, mystery advents, mystery clubs. Don't do that anymore. Like, because I just don't. I would rather spend my money on things that I know I love going in than the surprise. And you live and learn. And so I picked this up for Vlogmas, and I was probably only I was actually probably here, but then I saw a mistake and had to rip back to about here. So I've done pretty good amount of progress throughout Vlogmas, but I have not picked this up in like a week. So it is a pretty simple beginner friendly pattern. It is something I would highly suggest for beginner friendly, like beginners of Tunisian crochet, because it's just the Tunisian simple stitch for most of it. And so it's definitely, but it's time consuming because it's on you're using fingering weight yarn on a 5mm hook. And so it does get time consuming. And it's a long project. So I also was thinking, like, in my head, could you modify this pattern to a DK weight? I was thinking maybe that would be fun, but I'm not going to try that right now. I just want to get this done. This was a whip that I started in 2023 and wanted to bring back and kind of bring out of the graveyard for Vlogmas. And I did get significant work done on it. And so I'm pretty happy with that. I just am now like gonna like, you know, push to get it done in early 2025. So this is the drawn together cowl, and I will put the designer on screen. It is a great little one skein DK weight project, where it's like a ribbed detail, but it's not like full on like traditional rib. It's like a section of knits for a while, then pearls, then knits and pearls. And it makes this gorgeous cowl around your neck with an I-cord drawstring. And I had cast this on the beginning of December as part of the Cowl make along. And so I did quite a bit the first week. And then the second week I got to the point where I needed to join the provisional cast on with the live edge, the current live edge. And that has just slowed me down like to a screeching halt. And I'd love to pick this up and finish it. And I know that once I get past that part, I will fly because it's just knits and pearls. And the yarn that I'm using is actually a great stash buster. It was actually in my de-stash pile because I intend to eventually give this away to someone, gift it to like a family member or a friend. This is Woolberry Fiber's, I forget the color, Pottery maybe is the colorway. But it's their non-superwash fingering, and I'm not a fan of it in its current form, but I know that it will like bloom and soften up tremendously once we block this. So that's why I thought this would be a great one skein project. I also don't have quite as much yarn as the pattern calls for, but I'm just gonna shorten it just like maybe an inch or so. Because I'm like 50 yards or so shy. But I'd love to finish this maybe in time for like Valentine's Day or something like that. And I just need to get past like the hump of this. It's starting to get a little dark in my house, so if the lighting has changed, I apologize. But we're wrapping up here. So this is that final design. I'm hoping to have some progress on it by the time we talk next, because I know that once I get past this joining, see, I've only even joined about that much, because you also have to join in pattern. So it's not like I'm just joining in knits and continuing to knit. This is when the pattern starts. So it's like I have to join some of them as knits and some of them as pearls, and it's just not easy. And I'm also using bamboo needles. This is from a set that I won from a giveaway from my local yarn store, the Knitting Lounge in Simi Valley. And they're the like bamboo needles. They're okay. They aren't as grippy as I thought they would be with this yarn. I thought for sure they would be really grippy, but they're not. It's actually not a pretty enjoyable experience. So pretty good so far on that. So yeah, the drawn together cowl, hopefully I'll have some more progress than just the iCord channel by the time we meet next in 2 weeks. So that is it, my friends. As the sun sets here on me in Los Angeles, the sun sets on this video. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I have a lot of fun content coming in 2025 as your new Tunisian crochet bestie. I am going to be doing a little bit more than just podcasts in 2025. I have some tutorials planned on Tunisian crochet, some history on Tunisian crochet planned for 2025, and just a lot of great fun. And you're gonna see a lot more videos regularly from me. So the plan, which I always have the right to reserve to change in 2025, is to have a new video every week, and I will be alternating between like podcast videos and then other videos, and then I might throw in a bonus video every now and then, especially if I go to fiber festivals or I'm vlogging for whatever reason. Those are like bonus videos. Thank you so much for watching, friends. Bye now.